to beingness or consciousness or
Yes.
whatever term you give it, and know it'll be perfect.
Yes.
And it always says, however it turns out, it's perfection expressed that way.
Yes. And when we learn to love what is, we got it made.
It works particularly well when looking for a parking space, by the way.
John Monday always says infinite patience produces immediate effects. A Course in Miracles says that too, right?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Welcome. Hi, everyone. Hi, John. Hi, Rico.
Hi,
Kathleen. Hi,
hi,
Liz.
Rafi.
Hi.
John, Rico.
How are you?
Hi, everybody.
Hi, Robin, Kathy.
Hi, everybody.
Hi, Izzy.
Everybody.
Hello, everyone. Thank you.
Hi, Izzy. Isabel.
Isabel. That's closer.
Isabel, hi.
Hi. No, I'm trying to get myself onto that other view so I can see everyone. There we are.
Amy, I never knew what time that class was you were doing yesterday. I was lost in space.
Welcome,
That's
Amy.
okay.
Welcome,
Hi,
Amy.
Amy.
Thank
Hi,
you.
everybody.
Hi, everybody.
And we do have a nice surprise for everybody this evening. So we'll get into it just about right now. I think it says introducing Zoom apps. I guess that's from them. Leave that for some other time. I invited my daughter, Laura, and I just sent her a link again for the third time. I don't see her, but you know, everything is always perfect. So whatever happens, happens perfectly. She's here. But the nice thing is we're going to have a recording tonight. Amy, as far as I know, Lynn can't find the recording from last night, which is amazing because I recorded it too. And I can't find, no, mine wasn't saved. I went to save it on Dropbox, lost it. And then today I said, Lynn, play it so I can listen to it again and record it. She couldn't find it. So this is an amazing experience. Okay.
Everything is perfect.
Yeah. All right. Rosalind, do you want to start?
Do you want to introduce Amy because she's a guest and then I'll start?
Okay. Very good. Well, you were going to share a little on your
I
trip.
am, but you know, people don't
Okay.
know
Very
Amy.
good.
He's the first time she's here.
Okay. Okay. Welcome all, and thanks for being here for another Tuesday evening called Join Us Tuesdays for Present Happiness. And Rosalind and I started this several months ago, and it has really blossomed and bloomed. And we do understand that present happiness is always right now. And we've been meeting here for about 3 or 4 months, and then something intuitively told me when I heard that Amy Anderson, who's right here with us now, said she's starting a new group, and the group meets every Monday at 7 o'clock on a different Zoom belonging to ACIM Gather. And I asked her, like last week, would you like to be a guest here? Would you like to be a guest on Tuesday nights and share on, because her sharing is the whole evening or the hour is on forgiveness and how Course in Miracles talks about forgiveness. But she did say, I'm going to do a special process on Ho'oponopono. So last night was Monday night and I missed the first half hour, but I came in just in time for the Ho'oponopono. And I got to tell you, I was literally blown away. So I'm saying to everybody, we're going to have a very awesome experience. At least I did, and I hope that you do too. So without further ado, I'm going to turn this mic on over to Rosalind, my co-host.
Okay, so I am in Chicago. I ordinarily live in Seattle. and in Florida for the winter, but I'm in Chicago for a conference, and I had an experience. Can everybody mute yourselves unless you want to speak? So I had an experience on the way over to the hotel that seems perfect for Amy to take off with Ho'oponopono. So I'm in a taxi going to this hotel where we'll be staying, and driving along, very nice driver, very calm, very peaceful, when all of a sudden a car hits us from the side. And I didn't see him. Of course, I wasn't looking around driving, but I think that the driver didn't see him. And I believe, to my best guess, is that this man thought he would like to change lanes. And then it appeared to him that we wouldn't let him in, that the driver didn't let him in, because he got furious, angry. Our cars had collided, so we were stopped. He got out of the car, started hitting the car, kicking the car, yelling. And all I could think of saying to the driver was, stay peaceful, don't fight him. Stay peaceful, don't fight him. And he did, he was starting to, get big in the car, like his posture got bigger, and he settled down. And then the man drove off a bit, just a bit, and then pulled over to the side, expecting, I thought we were going to be pulling up, and then this interaction would be continuing. But the driver of my car pulled off the highway, and he had no way to back up and follow us. So it was over. But the reason I feel it's perfect for Ho'oponopono is each man definitely felt innocent. Each man is innocent, and each man blamed the other and has a story to back up why he is right. Take it away, Amy.
That's beautiful, Rosalind. Thank you so much for that great example of how our grievances and our resentments are so often seem to be brought about by other people, that we are in the right. So obviously they are in the wrong. And the principles behind Ho'oponopono, which fit so beautifully with A Course in Miracles, is that if I am perceiving something as wrong or someone as wrong, then I'm making a judgment. And I am the only person who has any control of my own thoughts, not of anyone else's thoughts, only my own. And if I am perceiving this other person as wrong, then I am judging them. I am putting them into jail. I am binding them there and binding myself there by being the jailer of this, by holding them in this grievance, this unforgiveness. Reminds me of today's lesson. So the idea with Ho'oponopono is that I can only look into my own mind. I can only adjust the way that I am perceiving the situation. If I perceive the situation as something went wrong, then I'm only harming myself. So with Ho'oponopono, the idea is that if I'm seeing it, I am 100% responsible for the way that I think of it, the way I perceive it, and what I hold in my mind regarding it. And if I can look inside my mind and release those thoughts, I release myself and the other person or the situation, whatever it may be. It might be the government or the teacher at school or the guy who cut you off in the gas station. It could be anything. When we look inside, we find that all of this unforgiveness is in our own mind and how we're perceiving it. So the 4 statements in Ho'oponopono are, I love you, I'm sorry, please forgive me, and thank you. So you may think, well, what am I sorry for? That guy was wrong. He cut me off in traffic, or he jumped in line in front of me in the gas station. The only thing that I can deal with is my perception of the situation. So in this practice, we're speaking to God, we're speaking to our divine. And we are saying, I love you. I love you, God. I love you, Holy Spirit. I love you, dear divine, whatever words you prefer. Let's say, for instance, in a situation like Rosalyn was in, where someone came and did something to the car, and then and so you're feeling and then got angry and was upset with you. And so you may be feeling resentment, or you may be feeling anger, you may be feeling fear. You could be feeling judgment. You could be feeling any of these and feel completely within your right to do so when someone gets out and starts kicking your car. But when we look at it a little deeper, we see that obviously the other person was in pain and fear and anger. And we can't do anything about what is in that other person's mind, only our own. So I love you, God. I'm sorry that I'm feeling anger in this situation with the driver coming and kicking the car. Please forgive me for forgetting that everything is happening for my own highest good. Please forgive me for not remembering that I am one with God. Please forgive me for not recognizing the holiness of my brother. All of these are statements that you could intersperse into your practice. And then, thank you, God, for bringing up this feeling of anger so that I can release it into your hands. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to clean this from my mind, to sweep out these cobwebs that are in my mind regarding this situation. So you can see how beautifully the Course in Miracles fits in with this practice. You can see how you could go to so many different places in Course in Miracles to find statements that would back up this principle, these principles, these ideas. So what I generally have people do is to choose one particular situation, which is why your example was perfect, Rosalyn, rather than just saying, well, I feel bad today. Let's pick a specific situation that each person wants to focus on, that each person is feeling some form of resentment or anger or sadness or fear.
I put something in my hand and I was wondering what it was. Was it sucky habit?
Does someone want to mute?
I'm trying to mute that person.
7.
I think I got the person.
From the trunk.
They're in their car. They probably don't even realize.
Okay, I think I got it.
You got them, just so everyone can hear. So you would pick a specific situation that you're feeling unforgiveness around, and then you can go through a multitude of different things, different feelings that you're feeling. I've been using the feelings chart from the nonviolent communication because I find when I first started this practice, I would say, well, you know, I'm feeling angry. But when I look at the chart of feelings, there are so many feelings that could be associated with that, that instead of just ending up with I'm angry, I can end up with, I don't know, 16 or 18 different ideas of anger.
Amy,
Feeling,
do you want to share that? I made you co-host. Do you have a way to share that?
absolutely, yeah. Mhm. It was a chart, and it was a little difficult to share in situations like this, so I've made it into a list. And if everyone would like to, you could choose a situation that you've been feeling some form of judgment or unforgiveness about. And you can see how from angry, you can come up with so much more specifics. And the more specific we can be, the more healing it is. So anger is a pretty general thing. And when we think of anger, we think of sort of like a rage. But when we break it down, it could be indignation. It could be jealousy. It could be feeling annoyed or withdrawn. Sometimes when people get angry, they're like, no, I'm just going to stay away. I'm going to be in my own thing. But that's still anger. When we look at, for instance, fear, I used to say, oh, well, I'm feeling fear around this situation. But what sort of fear? A lot of situations, I'm not actually physically fearful, but perhaps I'm feeling helpless or overwhelmed or excluded. And I don't think that I ever would have thought of excluded as being a form of fear. And yet, when we break it down, feeling fearful can mean feeling rejected, which can include feeling excluded. So as we look through these feelings, these ideas of sadness, fear, anger, we could see that a situation that we maybe would have said, I'm feeling angry about it, when we look through these feelings, we actually find I'm feeling judgmental or I'm feeling embarrassed. And what I have found is that the more feelings around the situation that I can bring up to work on, the clearer I get on releasing the judgment of the situation. So generally what I do is I have people take a pen and paper or put it in their notes on their phone, choose a situation, go through, choose as many of these that fit the situation in your specific application. And then we go through them one by one. So for instance, if I'm feeling angry, but I'm feeling betrayed or let down, then it might sound like, I love you, God. I'm sorry that I'm feeling resentful. I'm sorry I'm feeling betrayed. Let's use betrayed. I'm sorry I'm feeling betrayed in this situation. Please forgive me for forgetting that you walk with me wherever I go. I can never be betrayed. Thank you for bringing up this feeling of betrayal, that I can remember who and whose I am, and that I am held by you at all times. And as we work through these feelings and bring forward the truth of our emotions, the peace, the love of God that is underneath all of the ego thoughts that come up when we're feeling angry. Because we know if we're feeling angry, if we're in pain, if we're in judgment, we are not in the thoughts of God. And underneath all of these ego thoughts are the thoughts of God. So that when I connect with the divine, when I connect with God and allow God to take these emotions, to take these feelings, then I release them. I release them to God, and I create so much spaciousness in my mind and in my heart. When I finish a session, I absolutely feel like I have been communing with the divine. I feel almost high on the feeling of so much space and creativity and love in my mind and my heart that it is absolutely amazing. If you'd like, we can do a short exercise of it right here, right now.
Sure,
I don't know if everyone
yes, go ahead.
I don't know if everyone has a pen and paper or a way to keep track of some of these. And we can do like a 5-minute or 10-minute exercise where we just work through them, each on our own situation. That's the beauty of this system, is that we're not just holding the idea of Rosalyn's situation, but we can work on our own independent feelings of judgment that we have or grievance about a situation. And we can allow that to release. And the beauty of this is that as I release this feeling of betrayal in the situation I'm working on, I'm also allowing feelings of betrayal to release in other areas in my life, in other situations. Although I'm working on one specific situation, this extrapolates out into so many different areas where I have felt betrayal before. And it allows a lot of emotions to come up and be released. It's quite amazing. So if everyone wants to just take a few minutes, pick a specific situation and write down any of the terms that suit the situation that they are wanting to work on, then I'd be happy to move the chart as people are done with writing the angry ones. It seems to be a popular one. If I'm moving too fast, let me know.
Could you please go back to the green list? Start that again? Thank you. Thank you. God, I'm writing as fast as I can.
Amy, is there a way at another time I can connect with you? And you can tell me how I can get this list?
Absolutely. I'm happy to share.
Rico, if Amy will send it to me on my email, I can send it out to everybody. Would that be all right, Amy?
Absolutely. I took this from the chart, from the nonviolent communication chart that Lynn Johnson was using for her series on nonviolent communication. It's not my list or my chart. I'm happy to share.
Thank you.
All I did was
Thank you
write
both.
it down in a list. Yeah, absolutely. So
Sure.
as we're finishing up writing our emotions down, I'll just go over a few again so that you can get an idea of some of the principles from A Course in Miracles that you could use towards this, or you may like to fill in your own beliefs and systems into it. But for instance, if I'm feeling powerless, so I love you, God. I'm sorry, I'm feeling powerless in this situation. Please forgive me for forgetting that all of the power of God is with me always. Thank you for bringing up this feeling of powerlessness, that I can remember that you are in charge and all the power of the universe is in me. And then I may like to go on to another one, isolated. I love you, God. I'm sorry I'm feeling isolated in this situation. Please forgive me for forgetting that I walk with God in perfect holiness. Thank you for bringing up this feeling of isolation, that I can release this to you and remember who walks with me at all times. I may go on to fragile. I love you, God. I'm sorry that I'm feeling fragile in this situation. Please forgive me for forgetting that the strength of God is with me always. Thank you for bringing up this feeling of fragility so that I can remember that God is the strength that I trust. And you can see that you can move through your whole list, connecting with God, connecting with your divine, and releasing all of these feelings that are not serving you, all of these feelings that are not the peace of God, that all of these feelings that are ego feelings and not allowing God to come to you and through you can be released. And this gives you all kinds of space in your mind and your heart to embrace those thoughts of God that are there underneath everything. So if you'd like, we can, I usually put on a chakra, open heart chakra, 528 hertz music. If you'd like, I can put some music on. If you'd like to do it in silence, that's also just fine. And just keep checking.
Excuse me, could you move up the surprise, please? Could we see this? Thank you so much.
No problem. Rosalyn and Dov, would you like to do it with some music or would you like to do it in silence?
Dov, do you want to do music?
Sure.
Yeah.
Great. If everyone is done, sorry, the person who asked me about surprised, are you finished with
That was Lynn.
some, I like the open heart chakra balancing meditation music because I feel like this is a heart-based practice, that we are opening our heart up to share with God. And I definitely feel that when I'm done. So I will put on some beautiful quiet music. And again, your practice is to go through each of the emotions, saying, I love you, God. Please forgive me for feeling whatever the feeling is. I'm sorry. I'm sorry for feeling shocked, surprised, resentful. Please forgive me for forgetting my connection with you. Please forgive me for forgetting that the power of God is with me. Please forgive me that I walk with God at all times. And thank you for bringing up this feeling of whatever it is, resentment, that it can be released into your hands. And I will share some music now that will do this.
Before you start, Amy, can I ask you a question? So
Absolutely.
we're going to do the Ho'oponopono prayer for each feeling.
That's right. Yes.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Amy, are you speaking to us? Because you're muted.
I'm sorry about that. As you continue on your list, some ideas that you could plug into this could be, please forgive me for forgetting that light and joy and peace abide in me. Please forgive me for forgetting that my decision gives me all the power of heaven and earth. Please forgive me for forgetting there is no limit to the power of a Son of God. Please forgive me for not remembering that myself is ruler of the universe. Please forgive me for not remembering that fear is not justified in any form. Please forgive me for not remembering that God is with me. I live and move in Him. You can see how many course principles, lessons, and quotes can fit right into this practice and allow us to release these feelings that no longer serve us, but keep us from our joy and peace. That the ego is holding these thoughts in our mind, and that only our thoughts can give us pain. Thank you.
Thank you, Amy.
You're very welcome.
This is a beautiful twist, bringing the integration of Ho'oponopono with forgiveness practices. And Dov, is it okay if I continue your thread of the oneness? Yeah. So these feelings help us to become aware and responsible. And they're a great list because they're very subtle. And sometimes we get very out of touch with our consciousness. We don't even know our location. And our location is everything. If the Course says we have only one problem, and that's a belief in separation. And all of these feelings, all the subtleties are come from the location of separation. And not everybody here knows, I don't think, raise your hand if you know the history of Ho'oponopono. And okay, raise your hand if you don't know the history. Okay, so at least two people, maybe more. I just want to remind us that Dr. Hugh Lin is the one who made this available to us. He was a student of this, and in his book, Zero Limits, he left many times. But the important part of his transmission for us today, I think, is to connect to we are one being. He did not think of God as separate. He did not think or embody that there's Dr. Hugh Lin and there's these criminally insane people that he was to treat. So he treated a whole hospital of very violent people, and the place got better and finally closed. But the point is not, yes, it's amazing, but the miracle to me is seeing how he never saw a single patient. He did the work from the one being. So it was taking responsibility for all separation, for all hate, for all boredom, for all whatever. And then we immediately join in the oneness. And there can't be another, there can't be a brother, there can't be anyone wrong and us right, because that's the duality again. So I just wanted to add that because it's a link. And all of these feelings are a link back to oneness, where that bliss and that peace that passes all understanding lives. And we can do that directly just by remembering the oneness. Anybody want to share their experience? Or Dov, do you want to speak?
Well, first, does anyone want to share their experience? I think that's important. Anyone here at all? Want to say anything about the experience you had just now? The last 10, 15 minutes? All right, Rafi, go ahead.
Well, I was going through the list, and with the list we have with program I follow, it starts down at apathy, goes up, apathy, grief, fear, lust, anger, and pride, and all of these things, other ones are included, and it breaks it all down just like this. So it's not new, but the one that kept coming up over and over again was resistance. Don't do this, don't do this, don't do this, don't do this. Hang on, hold on. And so that was the one that I used the Ho'oponopono method on almost not exclusive, but almost exclusively throughout this whole process that we just completed. It was fascinating that it just kept coming up and saying, no, 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 don't do this, don't. And after a while, it got to be, okay, I get it. And but I got to dump so much resistance that it was perfect. Thank you.
Thank you for that, Rafi. Is there anyone else who wants to share anything that happened? I'll share a little on what happened for me. And this actually happened because I went through this last night with Amy. I had this experience, first of all, for the first time. I've done Ho'oponopono many times, and I know it works. This is the first time I realized that I'm talking to God. And just 2 weeks ago, I changed my mantra. Many of you know I had a mantra for many years, less than 25. I do not know what anything is for. And 2 weeks ago, less than 258, exactly 14 days ago, the lesson was, let me remember my goal is God. And it's the first time I did Ho'oponopono with God. And I'm saying, I'm sorry, I was mistaken. Please forgive me. I love you. Thank you. I want you to know that today I had this experience that God, the word God to me doesn't really mean a lot, but the word innocence is what came to me. I mean, that's who God is pure innocence. But in this world, we don't look at God as pure innocence because the world seems to be so full of guilt. And it came to me just a few hours ago that you can't go from guilt to innocence. You're either always innocent, you're either created innocent and you're always innocent. And that's the only way you could ever be. That innocence creates innocence. There's a line in the Course in the Song of Prayer that says, do you really think that you can go from being unequal to equal? He says that's impossible. You're either always equal or you're not. You're either always innocent or you're not. And it puts a whole different way of looking at things for me. And I hope some of it, is something that you might take on for yourself. Thank you.
Thank you, Dov. Carol, you had your hand up.
I'm on an old iPad and it wasn't unmuting. But I really appreciate this list because I'm someone who used to run away from my feelings a lot. And so I was grateful to see this very detailed, intricate list of feelings, because this is a tool for me and I was not even just, well, I was focusing on one thing that actually happened this morning with a repair person who was supposed to come and didn't. And then as I was even writing the list, because I took it almost all down, I was so excited about it. I'd look then over it again and would see a word and remember a person with that feeling. And I would do the Ho'oponopono with that. So it is just, I'm very happy to have this list, because it is such a help to me to identify my feelings, which I've never been good at. If people would ask me, how do I feel about something, I would struggle with that, trying to explain it. So this has been a wonderful tool. I very much appreciate it. And I'm excited because it's almost like an adventure. I'm going to be just kind of doing this for a while, and I'm by myself for a couple of days. I'm not with my family. And so it's just a perfect time. Thank you.
Thank you, Carol. How beautiful. And there are a few people here who might be new to us. Robin, you had your hand up, and John, and we welcome everybody who's new. I don't know if Regis, does everybody know you? Do I know you?
Yeah. Regis is part of our regular.
All righty.
Okay. Yeah. Regis is part of our Thursday night group, and he's a regular teacher at ACIM Gather. Go ahead, Regis.
All right.
Yeah.
Hi there.
Oh,
Okay.
hey, hello, Rosalind. I get your emails, and yes, I'm a part of the Thursday night group. I typically work on these. What's the day? Tuesday? I don't even know what day it is. But on these Tuesday evenings, but at this, I happen to be off. I sometimes pop in on the Tuesday evening group, but I'm typically at work, so that's why I probably don't participate or say anything. But I still love being in the presence. But it was good to be here today and actually be able to be active.
Oh, well, thank you so much. I love hearing your voice.
Thank you.
Yeah, John and Robin.
So I want to jump on what Carol said, because it's exactly the same, Amy. This morning, extraordinary, I had a feeling about jealousy, and that's not new. But I knew this morning that it was linked to other stuff. And I was questioning in my mind, what is it? What is the links to it? So you gave me the links tonight, and I'm super grateful for it. So thank you very much. And you're right, Dov. We did get a nice surprise. It was a nice surprise.
Robin. Thank you, John.
Yeah. Hi, Amy. I thought that was just such a beautiful, with depth, raising my energy to that energy of love and light. And I'm following Carol and John with the list was like a helper to going deeper, because we usually just stick with those easy, I am angry. And I can see using those, having more to really, what do I feel? It would be truly helpful. And the piece about God, I think adding I love you, God, really made it more intimate, more real, heart opening. And the music also transformed. I just felt like I was in the zone. And so it was all around, it was just a lovely, and I've been taught about this Ho'oponopono and know it well. And it is in my pocket, but this takes it to a way, just a lovely level. So thank you so much. And your presentation was just so soft and clear and confident. So I want to check you out more. So thank you.
Oh yeah, Amy. And I did want to say it's amazing too, because just maybe 2 days ago, I think Sunday, my wife and I were talking, and we were using these certain type of words. And I said, those words are just too general. They don't mean anything. So here tonight, because we was talking about love, and I'm like, what does that mean? When you know, and different words and emotions, I'm angry, like you say, and it don't really give context. So this is just perfect, holy instant moment for this list to be presented, and then Rosalyn is going to email it to everybody. So I'm just sitting on the edge of my chair waiting on this list to print it off for me and my wife. So thank you.
Perfect. Thank you, Regis. And Lynn has her hand up.
I will send the list over to Rosalyn later tonight. I have another meeting in 5 minutes, so it's been lovely to see everyone here, and I'm so glad everyone enjoyed it. And I plan to be back to watch your show again. Thank you so much. I've so
Thank you
enjoyed
for
it.
participating.
Thank you, Amy.
We love your.
Thank you. Say hello to Maureen.
Lynn, you're muted, honey.
Is that better?
Yes.
Is that better?
Yes.
Sorry, I don't know how to use this thing. There was a lot of noise outside. So I just want to say, first of all, Rosalyn, can you hear me okay?
Yes.
Rosalyn, that cab driver was blessed to have you in his cab. Yeah, he won't forget that. And I love that list of different emotions, and I related to the fear and the awe. And I got to write this over because I think it's wonderful with the Course in Miracles. But I wrote it fast. I love this is as far as being inadequate and inferior. How I feel. I love you, God. Please forgive me for judging your child as inferior/inadequate. Thank you for helping me to remember that all is a perfect fit to see in depth of my true self. And in awe, the awe one. I love you, God. Please forgive me for judging awe. Thank you for this beauty.
Wow. Lovely, Lynn, as usual. Thank you. You're our resident poet. We may have some more poets here. I don't know. I know we have some songstresses and songwriters and singers. Someone else have their hand up. I got a message there were two.
Well, I saw Rico had his hand up, and then I want to say something. Rico, did you want to say something?
Actually, it was a question. Good evening, everybody. The class that Amy's going to teach right now, is that the Ho'opono class? Ho'oponopono class?
No. She's going to Maureen's, which is a different group.
When actually is the Ho'oponopono class?
I'm sorry. That's on Monday evening at 7 o'clock. And it's run by ACIM Gather. And if you want, just contact me, or I will put you on that list, Rico. Okay.
But isn't there two separate groups? One is for forgiveness through the text, and one is for Ho'oponopono.
No. Forgiveness and Ho'opono is the same group.
Okay. Yeah, I need that. Thank you.
Yeah, she's going through the Course in Miracles and speaking on every page where forgiveness is mentioned.
I need to be there.
Okay. All right.
And I'm glad they didn't have any harm to my angel Rosalyn. Thank you for not being harmed in any way, shape, or form.
Thank you so much.
I want to say one thing about, I talk about equality a lot. And it came to me, it's not the equality, it's the quality of your innocence. If I see my Father, my Creator, as innocent, and all he creates is innocence, you can be sure that all my brothers and sisters everywhere are the same quality of innocence. You can almost see how the entire Course of Miracles breaks down to what is real is the innocence. What is the unreal is anything other than innocence, which, as you know, the whole Course is about letting go of guilt. And guilt is not real. It's only the innocence is real. Herein lies the peace of God. Peace is the key to the kingdom, but has one condition: equality, the equality of innocence. To see all the same. Make this year different by making it all the same.
Everyone belongs in the oneness, but only if everyone is the same, if everyone is equal. Otherwise, we're out. You might sometimes feel like putting a brother or a sister out, and then we're out. So the only way in, as Dov says, is that quality of innocence. And let's take each other that way through the week and love on our memories of each other. And we look forward to seeing you again next week. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you so much all for being here. I'm putting up John Mundy's link if you want to go there now. Thank you so much, Rosin. It was a wonderful evening.
Thank you, everybody. Have a
Thank you
wonderful
all.
evening.
Love you.
I still love you, John.
Go.
Hi, Lynn. How are you? Good to see you. Take care, Isabella.
I'm Shelley.
Hey, Shelley.